The word consistency is key. It's said everywhere, but nobody really goes for it, right? I'd rather have a smaller subscriber count that actually enjoy my entertainment that I'm producing rather than a really high number of subscribers and very little views.
At the time, I expected to go viral,
Welcome back, guys, to the show. My name is Raji Husni, and in today's episode, I'll be interviewing Ayman Raji.
What's up, guys?
And in today's episode, we're actually going to be talking about how consistency is key and how it can help you in so many different places in life. And it's really, really insane, the power of being consistent. So to start off, Ayman, why don't you go ahead and give a little bit of a background, a little bit about yourself, and a little bit of your story.
Okay, so firstly, I want to say, it's really good to be on the podcast. Firstly, I want to say the first time I met Raji, I want to say I've encountered maybe one or two people who have the name Raji as a second name, but the first name Raji, I've never heard somebody called Raji.
I've never heard another person with the name Raji at all. First name, last name, never. It's first time.
Right. Okay, so as Raji said, my name is Ayman Raji. I'm 18 years old, and I can't just make fitness content online. Right now, I'm not in school, so that's basically what I do. And I've been doing that for upwards of 3 years, 2.5 years. I provide value, mainly from my experience. So, like, whatever I overcome or any issues I see that people have that are similar to mine that I experienced on my journey, I guide people how to do the same. So that's pretty much what I do.
Okay. So you said that you do fitness content, right? So what made you want to get into fitness in the beginning? Like, were you a bigger kid as a younger, or was it like you just wanted to grow, get bigger? What was it for you?
It's a good question because there's any person that you ask, there's many factors that go into it. It's not really just one major factor. So for me, obviously the main one was because I was overweight. Right? When you're overweight, everyday struggles or everyday things become struggles. Like the simplest thing for an average person or someone who's not overweight is a struggle. So every day you're reminded of your weight, obviously. So that was let's say main one. Okay, I want to lose weight. I want to be fitter. Another reason was sports. So at the time I was playing basketball, and playing basketball when you're overweight is the worst thing you can do. You're slower. You can't jump as high. It's just bad overall. It's a bad experience. So alongside just getting healthier and just losing weight, I want to do for sports. That way I'll be fitter. I can run faster, jump higher, those types of things. So sports and just overall health.
Definitely. I could say the same. Like when I was younger, I was overweight too, and then that was the beginning of my fitness journey at the same time too, right? Like I really understood what you meant when you said like everyday struggles for like bigger people are a little bit harder for different people, right? And like that same thing with me. Like I started going to the gym, but for me it took like a couple of years before I even start seeing results because I was very on and off, right? But then there was a time when I started to become when I started becoming consistent. I started seeing these small little changes in my body that gravitated me towards wanting to go back and keep going.
Right.
Yeah. So you also make content on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok.
Yes.
You what made you like start doing that? Why did you want to? Was it like your success story that you wanted to show, or was it just you wanted to improve the knowledge that's out there?
Okay, so I'll begin by saying my initial social media content creation at all was Instagram. So I started posting because as a new lifter, right, I'll say from the beginning, I was doing squat, bench, deadlift. Those were like my main, gym exercises. And I was kind of in a powerlifting mode, like kind of just strength. Because when I was overweight, I was always told I was strong because, when you're overweight, like mass moves mass, right? So you are strong, but technically you're not strong because you're fat. So I was more weightlifting about strength, even though I was trying to lose weight. So I would post my squat, bench, deadlift, and my progress on those lifts because as a new beginner in the gym, you have new begins, so you're progressing like crazy compared to an advanced lifter or intermediates. So I was happy about the progression on my squat, bench, deadlift. Every week I was doing heavy weights, so that's what I would post. And then I started posting more, my physique, and that brought me to about year 1. And I remember after the first year, that's when I got onto YouTube, because at the time, there was these crazy body transformations. You see these like millions of views, people going from, skinny to built, fat to built, building their body and then posting that on YouTube. David Lade is a prime example. Joe Fraser, they have like upwards of 20 million on their transformation videos. So, that's where I got inspiration to make a transformation video and post it. That's what initiated the YouTube. You know what I mean? So that was the first video, done pretty good. At the time I expected to go viral, get millions of views. That didn't happen.
No, definitely.
Yeah, but that was the first video, and that video got a lot of love. A lot of the comments were like, "How did you do this? Talk more about it. Like, go into more detail. Don't just show the transformation." So that was kind of like that kind of pushed me to actually do YouTube and not just post a transformation video. Right. So the video following that was top 5 tips to lose weight. So I was kind of replying to the comments, building a deeper connection with the audience, showing them actually what I'd done, not just a timeline and the transformation video. So that's kind of what started my YouTube. And, at the time I was still posting on Instagram, mainly just physique pictures, showing my progress. At this time, I wasn't really providing value on Instagram, so to speak. So I was just posting my progress instead of actually like speaking and giving actual advice.
Yeah.
And the YouTube around this time, the YouTube was more like diverse. I would do challenges, I would do my protein reviews. Here and there I would give weight loss advice, but it wasn't specifically targeted or it wasn't niched, as you can say.
Yeah.
So that was a majority of my YouTube, I'll be honest. It wasn't niched, it wasn't specific, it was a lot of diverse. It was like lifestyle kind of thing, right? Instagram has always been, fitness. And I was, for a long time on Instagram, I was just posting my physique, posting my progress. And then I got onto TikTok. TikTok really took things off because, as you know, TikTok, the outreach you can get on TikTok is crazy. And the viral potential of a video is a lot higher than on Instagram or YouTube. And TikTok is what really pushed my YouTube. I'll be honest, even recently, I hit 2,000 12 days ago, because I remember I was in the YouTube studio and it said, congratulations, you just hit 2,000 subscribers 12 days ago. And just before that, I hit 1K, I think 3 weeks before. So in a matter of 3 weeks, I gained a K. And a lot of that I will contribute to TikTok. I'm not going to lie. When my videos go viral on TikTok, and let's say I have a comment on that TikTok or in the bio, I will be like, check on my YouTube to see how I done this, or if you want further details or explained like in-depth videos on how I made this transformation, check my YouTube. And people are intrigued because, the transformation videos, they can go viral on YouTube or they can go viral on TikTok, get many views. People are intrigued. How do I make the same transformation? Definitely. So they want to see more details. They go onto my YouTube, and there is value on my YouTube. I'm not going to lie, and that's why people are going from TikTok to my YouTube.
Because on TikTok you can only post videos that are so long, right? And the thing is with TikTok, it's more of like a swipe kind of based app, right? You go on there, you watch the video, you swipe, right? You the attention span is not there. But when people actually watch your videos and they get interested, then they can move on to your YouTube and see what's going on YouTube, right?
Exactly. That's why I would say my audience on TikTok will always be different to my YouTube. Now, I'm not saying people who are on my TikTok can also watch my YouTube, because a lot of them do. But my TikTok audience, which is upwards of 40K, they're more short attention span. That's why I will always have more TikTok followers than YouTube, because people... See, I kind of use TikTok as a lead to my YouTube.
Definitely.
And that's why whenever a video goes viral, people from that who will actually watch long-form content, and who are willing to, take in advice and sit there for, 5-10 minutes and actually learn something, they will go to my YouTube. And that's why I use TikTok to lead to my YouTube. And I'm fine with getting, only a small percentage from TikTok to go to YouTube, but it's still a lead source. And that's why on TikTok, I prioritize, 10 to 15 seconds. And YouTube, I actually put time into giving, information in long form for the viewers who are actually willing to sit down and take it in, and then later on apply it.
Definitely, because on TikTok, like I said before, like the attention span is just so low. So you want to get your message and point out there in 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it is, as long as you can keep their attention. And that's something that I see in your videos that you do. Like you can, like when I see your TikToks and stuff like that, and your Instagram Reels, your YouTube Shorts, when I see them, they're informative. They get the point, and then they direct you towards the YouTube channel. It's like, hey, you want to see the transformation, or you want to learn more about how to lose fat? Go here.
Exactly.
Go here, right? And that's a good way to build an audience, and that's what you're trying to do, right? And the thing is, like you said, it's not gonna be all like sunshines and rainbows from the beginning. You're not gonna just amass a big following on TikTok and then just magically bring them all over to YouTube. It's gonna be slowly. It's just consistent. You consistently posting, and it's gonna consistently grow your channel, right? And then what you want is people who are actually gonna subscribe and watch your content, right? So they can be informed and learn from your stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's all about building a deeper connection with your followers, because you can have X amount of numbers of followers or X amount of numbers of subscribers, but how many people are actually going to come back and watch your new videos when you release them, and
100%.
actually watch them, not just click 30 seconds, click off. And that's about retention, and it's kind of like a retaining customer. You want that subscriber, you want that follower to keep coming back, watching your videos, and kind of build a loyal fan base, a loyal audience.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'd rather have, for example, a smaller subscriber count that actually enjoy my entertainment that I'm producing, rather than a really high number of subscribers and very little views or very little things like that, right? The main reason why I started my podcast, for example, or my YouTube channel, was because I wanted to inform people and teach people new things, right? And get opinions from different people and different lessons and different stories and things like that, so people can connect with other people and learn from other people, right? And I assume the same way with you. Like you wanted to show your results, and you wanted to show people like, hey, it's possible. You can do it too.
Exactly. I think that's like the majority of the YouTube narrative. Someone will do something, right, and he will get X result, and he will see somebody else struggling with the same thing, but he hasn't got the result. So he'll be like, you know what, I'm doing the same thing and I got the results, so I'll show him how to do the same thing.
100%.
That's my whole mindset. So I lost weight, I built muscle. I know there's tons of people who are trying to do the same thing. Either they don't know or they don't know where to get the information. So I'm trying to be that source. And because I've done it, I'm just like, why wouldn't I show somebody who's trying to do the same thing? Because if I were in that same position, I would want somebody to be the lead that showed me how to get that information and where I can get the information. So, it's all just about using your own experience to help others who are at the beginning of your journey.
Definitely. And the thing is, like with going to the gym and with anything in life, like consistency is something that a lot of people lack, right? For example, like I said in the beginning, when I first started going to the gym, I was overweight and I wouldn't see any progress. But that was because I wasn't consistent. Okay. And then I only started seeing progress when I started building that consistency. And that also happened with many different things. With anything, when I started posting my videos on TikTok, for example, my views were very low. But I kept getting better and better and better because I was consistent, and I learned I improved my habits, and I got better with everything that I was doing. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people don't see it as like the word consistency is key. It's said everywhere, but nobody really goes for it, right? Nobody really actually tries to be consistent. Yeah. And another thing is, like, how do you want someone, like, no one's going to show up for you if you don't show up for yourself. Right. It's like going to the gym, and it's like not going to the gym, but you want to get ripped. It's not going to happen, right?
Well, see, the thing about consistency is, like, it literally is the only thing. Like, consistency is kind of what binds all the other little tools. So, say you're trying to pick up an eating habit, or you're doing a new exercise, or you just hit the gym. Consistency binds up everything and produces results, because especially at the start, whatever you're doing, there's always going to be a gray area, And what I mean by gray area is you can be doing the same thing repeatedly, and see no results. And it's the gray area where a lot of people, they drop out or they quit. But that's what consistency is all about. It's because it's kind of having faith that you will see progress. It's not necessarily about when or what time, but knowing that the consistency will lead to progress, and just having faith that the work that you're putting in, it will produce results.
Definitely, and it's with everything. Like it's, for example, with going to the gym. Like the gym is the easiest one to explain, but like with going to the gym, you have to be consistent with your workouts. You have to be consistent with your eating, with your habits, your sleep. Everything has to be like consistent, right? If you're not consistent on one, you could be hurting the results of everything, right?
I would also say the reason, like a main reason right now, like in this day and age, why a lot of people, especially gym, why they're not able to stay consistent, is because of short form content, or just in general. How can I say this?
Their minds are distracted and they don't want to.
Right, but it's just a need for constant dopamine or quick dopamine.
100%.
And consistency is the complete opposite of quick dopamine. If you're trying to lose weight or build muscle, those are forms of long-term,
like delayed gratification.
Exactly.
You're waiting, yeah.
Exactly. They're the complete opposite of what's normalized or what people are indulging in, in today's world. So I think that's the major factor on why people just can't stay consistent, and also just lack of self-belief. They don't believe the work they're putting in will, produce results. There's a lot of factors, but I would say the constant need for quick dopamine is the number one factor why people can't stay consistent.
No, definitely. And another thing is that a lot of people go on social media and they think people live these perfect lives with these perfect bodies. Yeah. And it's just like those people who have those bodies, it took years to build. They didn't just wake up and they're like, yo, I have a six pack, or I'm like my arms are massive, or anything like that. It all took time, and that's the thing with people. They just see these perfect things and they want the results like this. Within a snap of a finger, they want it, right? And they'll go to the gym and they'll try to do it, but then they'll never realize if you're not consistent to the point where it becomes like a second habit, like a second nature to you to go to the gym and eat better, eat cleaner, eat whatever it is that you're doing. Your results are going to be so much more like less than what they could be by those things, just following that better diet, following that gym workout plan, whatever it is.
Yeah, the other thing about social media is because, like you said, people will compare their bodies or compare their progress to somebody, and it's not even about how many years the person they're looking at it took for them to achieve their physique. It's all about, I say this over and over again, but it's still going to be an issue in the fitness industry, as you can say, for the longest time, because no matter, like, say you're looking at a person, right, and they have this physique, it's not actually the fact that it took them years to get that physique and you're comparing it. It's that they have different genetics, they're a different person. So even if it took him a couple months or a couple years, if you worked out the same amount of time as him, you still won't get his body, because you have two different genetics. There's no person that you can actually compare your body to. And people will still go online and, compare their bodies, say, this is my dream physique. You hear a lot of people saying, this is my dream physique. But, like, just having that mentality or saying it to yourself is really, it's really bad, because you genuinely cannot get anyone's body, but you're saying in your head that you're trying to get his physique. So,
definitely,
I hate the idea that a lot of people have this dream physique of another person's body, even though, like, your body and your genetics is not the same as anybody else's. Like, you have your own potential, but you're trying to compare your potential to somebody else's physique. I don't really get that.
No, definitely. And the thing is, like, no two humans are the same. No two cells in every single person's body are the same, right? Everything is different. So when you compare yourself to others, it's just going to be the downfall of yourself, because what's going to happen there is you're going to be like, hey, man, like, I wish I could be like that, but, like, it's not going to happen to me,
Exactly.
Like, it's just, you're going to get into your own head, and you're going to realize that you're the one ruining yourself by what you're believing and how you're how you're consuming all this content and seeing all these things. I'm not saying don't consume fitness content. No, consume fitness content, but don't have those ideologies and those beliefs that I want to have that physique or I want to have this
Right.
physique. The dream physique it's like you said, it's one of the biggest problems in the fitness industry. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to have a perfect body, but it's just like
And even
no two
like,
bodies are the same.
yeah, and another underlying problem is when people say, this is not achievable naturally, or this guy has an achievable physique. There's no such thing as an achievable physique because, like I said, you can't look like anybody. So there's always a big discussion if somebody says they're natural or not, and people are always commenting or arguing in the comments. This guy is natural, this guy is not. He's giving false hope. The only false hope is you thinking you can get his physique. So if somebody says, let's say this, right, for instance, somebody is not natural, but he said he's natural, people will complain that he's giving false hope. But whether he actually is natural or not doesn't matter because you shouldn't be trying to get his physique. So,
Definitely.
like, instead of you arguing that someone's natural status or arguing that someone's giving you false hope, you shouldn't be looking to get their physique in the first place.
You should be working on attaining the best self-image and body image of yourself.
Exactly,
right?
your own potential.
Exactly. You should always be looking to improve yourself, not comparing yourself to other people.
Exactly.
Right? Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, I don't care how many surgeries, whatever the heck you do, right? How much times you ask for it, it's not going to happen. You're going to have your own body, you're going to have your own genetics, and the only way to tell how you're going to look is if you put in the work and actually try to achieve it.
Exactly.
Right? Definitely. So another thing is, for you, when you started in the gym, when did you start seeing your results for your beginning?
Okay,
When you started losing weight?
right. So I'll describe my entire 3-year journey. So obviously the first time I weighed myself 103 kg, and that was day one of gym. And to be honest, I seen really good results from the get-go. And I wouldn't say this is luck because I intentionally put 100% into my diet and training, but I was lucky in the sense that I got quick results, and that kind of, like the initial results, I got them quick, and that kind of
boosted you.
Yeah,
it boosted you to want to do more.
Exactly, and that got the ball rolling very soon. So once you have the ball rolling, it's effortless from that point. Well, not effortless, but it gets a lot easier to keep going from day in, day out. And so for the first month, I remember I lost 9 kg. So I seen big improvements. I remember I was taking 3 progress pictures a month. So I would take the front, side, back, and obviously that compared to month 0, so the beginning, to month 1. And I seen big progress. Not only that, but on the scales. So the 9 kg first month, definitely a big motivator to keep going. I kept losing weight. I think around the 6-month mark, I got to low 80s. And then year 1, 74, that was my all-time lowest.
Oh, wow.
And, to be honest, at that point, I was definitely beyond how lean I should be. Because, when you get, another thing when you're trying to get lean, it's very easy to get into a rut of, constantly want to get leaner. You want to get your abs to show, you want your muscles to show you want to be as lean as possible when you get into that cut. So I got 74 kg. I was starved, I was always starving, constantly hungry, tracking every calorie to the dot. And, I had low energy. It was not a good state to be in. So I picked that up. I ate on maintenance. And after, let's fast forward to year 2. I maintained from 74, or let's say maintained because I built muscle but maintained body weight. I done that until year 2, found that was okay. And then at the year 2, I was going to cut like I did at the end of year 1, but I decided, I don't really need to cut. If I cut, it would just be kind of boosting my ego because, I'll be leaner, I'll see my abs, stuff like that. So at that time, I realized that cutting was just a bit of an ego boost. And not even that, when you cut, okay, let me say this, right? Before you cut, you get the idea that when you cut, you'll be really happy, you'll be really good because you're lean. But once you get that leanness, you would probably feel you're fatter than you were before you started. You know what I mean? Once you get to the lean state and you get you're starting to lose weight, you're getting to a lean body fat. Your mind plays a lot of games, and you start visualizing yourself as fatter. Like you start to think you have more body fat than you are. And I realized this after my first cut because I cut down 74 kg, at that time, I did not feel as lean as I actually was. I was definitely feeling fatter. But once I gained back weight and I looked back to when I was lean at 74 kg, I only realized then how lean I was. Because when in the like, you have to do it to understand. You have to get lean to understand that your mind plays a lot of games, and it's only once you gain back the weight that you realize how lean you were, and you realize that your mind is just all over the place. You don't have enough food in your system. Your energy levels are low, so your mind is going to be messing you up a lot of the time. And that's why I decided to just keep my weight the same at the end of year 2. And since then until year 3, and just fast forward to like present day, I'm eating at maintenance calories and basically building muscle but keeping my same body fat.
I see. Yeah, like that's definitely true, because the thing is, you don't notice your results like while they're happening or anything like that, because it happened with me. Like when I was overweight, I the whole time until like I didn't even know I was losing weight until I would see my friends. I would always wear sweaters, baggy clothing, because I just that's how I felt comfortable, right? I didn't want to like have a tighter shirt on or nothing like that, right? But I would always wear sweaters, and then one day I took off my sweater, and then somebody told me, he's like, "Hey man, you lost a lot of weight," right? And that's the thing, is you don't really realize it's happening while it's happening. Until people tell you.
Yeah,
and it's 100%. Always like one of the best feelings. It's like a great feeling. It's just like, I actually did it. I'm doing it. If it's not my goal yet, I'm doing it. You might see the numbers dropping on the scale, but in the mirror it might look the same, right?
That's because most of the time you're in your own head and you're critiquing yourself. You're over-critiquing yourself. So when somebody from the outside is looking in, who isn't thinking about you or isn't critiquing yourself all the time, they give their perspective. It kind of changes your whole mind.
Definitely. And yeah, like you said, like you're always in your own head. You're always going to think that like the worst of everything. But when someone comes and tells you like, yo, like, you did a good job, then you're just going to be like, okay, yeah, like maybe I am doing it, right? It's a mental game that we all play with our own heads and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
What keeps you what keeps you consistent with going with your training? Like what is it? Why do you keep? What is your main goal with your training? Like why do you want to keep doing it?
It's a very good question, and there's a broad spectrum of factors that go into my training. Ultimately, like the main reason is just I don't want to go back to where I started, right? If you ask anybody, the fear of going back to the start point has to be the main factor, because that is the reason you started in the first place. So I would just say not wanting to go back and just realizing how better life is once you start 100%.
Training. 100%.
Like, once you taste, like, I don't want to say taste, but once you get the feeling, or once you experience the life after you've been training for a while, eating good, all of that, you realize, why would I ever want to go back to where I was? And you just want to keep that up. You're eating healthy, you're feeling good, you're training, you're making progress, you're having these small wins. So just
definitely,
just the fact of not going back and maintaining the lifestyle, that's what really keeps me going.
Definitely. Small wins is everything, bro. It's just
exactly
like setting those look, having a small win is better than having like a bunch of small wins is better than having one giant massive big win, right?
Yeah.
Those small wins remind you. It's like, hey, like I'm gonna. It makes you want to keep going and achieving more small wins.
And
right?
Going to the gym is a good example for anybody if wants to get small wins, because you're turning up every day, and the gym is not something that produces results, instantly, or it doesn't produce big results in small lumps. It's like a bit of progress every day, and it's nothing like it's no crazy dopamine spikes.
Yeah,
it's a long game, so that's why
it's a lot more controlled.
Exactly, and that's why I think it's good for anybody.
Definitely, and it like the gym teaches you so much in life. Like it gives you that feeling of discipline and learning how to like being disciplined itself. You learn, like, because some days, like, I bet you, for you, even for me, like, there's days we don't want to go to the gym, right?
100%.
We still gotta show up and do our best and put our all in there, right? And
100%.
Because motivation it will fade. It will come. You will have that motivation and it will go. But it's going to the gym is not about having the motivation. It's about having the discipline to be able to get back up, go when you don't want to go. Whatever it is, you're traveling, you're still going to the gym. A lot of people, like, they feel like, okay, I can take like a week or two off. But like, for example, for me, when I travel, I'm like the gym is a part of me. I need to go. It's not something I can stop. right?
And
It's
you
like
see,
not
like,
like turn on and off.
right, and you have to remember, like, when, like, the days you don't feel, I always say to myself, the days you don't feel but you still go, they count a lot more than the days that you feel and you go, because anybody can go when they feel like it, like anybody. Because if you're in the mood, you'll do it. Why not?
Yeah.
But when you're not in the mood, that's, you have to remind yourself to go when you're not in the mood, because that's what actually counts. And every time you go when you're not in the mood, you're building discipline for the next time that you're not in the mood. So it'll actually be easier. So let's say somebody who doesn't feel like in the mood and doesn't go, he doesn't go to the gym 8 out of 10 times. On the 11th time, he's going to find it a lot harder than the guy who goes every time, even though he doesn't feel like it. Like, if he goes to the gym 10 times when he doesn't feel like it, on his 11th time, he'll find it a lot easier than the guy who's inconsistent.
100%. And like, if the thing is, if you only go when you want to go, you're not gonna, your body image to yourself is not gonna be like, you're not gonna get that physique that you want, for example.
Exactly.
You're gonna be very, very inconsistent, and that's a big problem, right? And that's the thing. Consistency is all about just showing up, because, like I said before, if you don't show up to the gym, yeah, it's literally half the work. Yeah. Once you show up, that's number one. You made it there. Now, go out and do it. It's okay if you're having a bad day. It's okay if you're having a bad workout. You still did that workout, right?
Exactly.
It's not like you quit, because you don't want to be a quitter.
It's better to go and have a bad workout than not go at all.
Not go at all, yeah, 100%. There's days when I'm walking into the gym and I'm like, I just had like one of the worst days of my life. And I'm like, I know this workout is going to be bad, but I'm still going to go in there and bang it out. Like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do it. Because if I don't, I'm a quitter, and I'm not one to quit, right?
And
I go in there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. That's exactly what one of the things that gym, what you learn from going to the gym is doing something even though you don't like it, and that can apply to any aspect of life. That's just one of the lessons that you learn from gym. Another one I can say is that not literal pain, but soreness in relation to the gym, in your muscle soreness, you breaking down the muscles. You have to break down to grow and produce
100%.
bigger results. Your muscles get broken down, they recover when you're sleeping, and they grow bigger. It's the same. You can literally apply that lesson to any aspect of life. If you're trying to get money, you're trying to get successful, anything. You have to go through hardships to recover from that, and then 100%. Grow bigger.
Yeah, because if you don't have these lessons in life, you'll never be able to learn, right? You need these little small reminders, or whatever it is. It could be anything, right? But like you said, if you don't face hardship, everything will be so much harder for you in the future.
Exactly.
Because, say for example, you were successful. Say you started a business, right? Whatever it is, you're selling phone cases as an example, right? Your business does $3 million in your first month. Okay, just like a very high, like a high number, right?
Exactly.
But now the next month you make a lot less money, and it's just like, okay, I didn't go through the pain of making that money so fast that I spent it all, and now I don't have any more money the next month.
Exactly. And
you know what I'm saying?
People will think you're $3 million in your first month. You will say that to someone, and they'll think that's really good. I want that, but like, you have to realize that having pain early is a lot better in the long term. Like, if you say to the average person, do you want to have a business and then get $3 million in the first month? They will say yes, because why not? But you have to say, you have to think back to what I said. Having pain at the start and going through that pain is what's going to ensure longevity, because, like you said, $3 million in the first month and then you have a trash second month. The person who has quick success will quit after that second month.
Exactly. They're going to quit right away. It's going to be like, oh, you know what? It's not working? Goodbye. I have $3 million. But realistically, that $3 million, you're going to use it. Because this is the thing with money. Fast money it goes away fast.
Fast,
right?
Yeah, you get money fast, it goes away fast.
It goes away fast. But when you build it slowly and it comes to you slowly, you can see...
You value it more.
100%. And it's the same thing with anything else, right? If it's...
that's the same. You can apply that to the gym. If you got muscles, if you woke up and you had muscles the next morning, you wouldn't keep training. You'd be like, okay...
You wouldn't keep training. You're not going to eat healthy. You're going to go to KFC, McDonald's. You're going to go out and eat, right? But when it's like, okay, you know what? I actually trained really hard for these muscles, right? I've built the physique of my dream, of myself, my self-image that I built the best self-image of myself. I'm going to treat my body right. I'm going to eat. I can still have those meals, but it's not going to be like an everyday thing, right? I'm not going to eat a bunch of junk. I'm going to eat a lot of healthy food, and you're going to have those cheat days, those cheat meals, whatever it is for you, right? Because It's impossible. Like a lot of people, they like to make it especially on social media, they like to make it seem like everything is so perfect. But in reality, everybody has cheat meals, everybody has cheat days, everybody has stuff like that. Like for example, like you obviously know. Do you know the Dwayne The Rock Johnson, right?
Yeah,
He does. He has these famous cheat meals, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he works extremely hard to be able to deserve that.
Right. It's
Right?
not even that. He's a big guy. I don't know how tall he is. Like 6'something", 6'3".
Yeah, he's like 6. Yeah, like 6'3", 6'4".
He's like over 250 pounds, whatever. Like he can take that in, and his body will. His body needs a lot of calories. So for the average guy to be like, why can he do this? Like it's not the same person.
No, definitely. And another thing that you said is that everybody wants fast success, but nobody wants to work for it, right?
Exactly.
They all want the instant gratification, but in reality, you should be looking for delayed gratification.
Right.
If you get something instantly, you're 100% way more bound to quit.
But see, they don't, like, the people who say that, they don't actually realize that it's worse for them. They only want that because they think it's the best thing, but they have to realize that it's not. And it's just about that realization. Once you realize that, your mindset will literally switch.
Yeah, no, definitely. So another thing I wanted to ask you was, if someone was trying to get into the gym, what would be like a tip you would want to give them, or something that you wish you did when you were starting?
Okay, so I would tell them to do what I done, like literally what I done, and that is firstly have a purpose, okay? Because the purpose is like we spoke about. It's what's going to get you through those bad days, or it's what's going to get you through those workouts that you don't feel like it, or it's going to get you through the craving for food when you want to eat, but you have to stay in a calorie deficit and you need to lose weight. So firstly, have a purpose and have a reason, because that's the number one thing for longevity, because it's going to drive you.
Definitely.
And consistency, like literally just having a purpose, being consistent with the work that you need to do, and just having faith in the progress. That's all I would say. Be consistent. What did I say?
And having like goals and aspirations.
Yeah, have a purpose.
Yeah, purpose.
Have a purpose for your weight loss. If you want to lose weight, don't just lose weight for the sake of it, just because you think it's cool, you want to get abs, something like that. Have like a real purpose. Even if you're trying to build muscle, have a purpose behind that, and be consistent with the work. See, the thing is, I always say this, people always get caught up in, I need to do the perfect exercise, what's the best exercise, what's the best. If you do the worst exercise, like the worst, but you're consistent and you have a purpose, you will still see progress. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. So it's better for you to do something wrong, not wrong to the point that's hurting you, but you can do a less optimal or less productive exercise or something like that. But if you do that consistently and then maybe mid-journey you realize, okay, I can be doing something better, but at least I was building something, you're better than the guy who's still searching 1 year, what's the best exercise. He's delaying the start by trying to get the best. You know what I mean?
Definitely. You can't always have your mind on hey, like even for me, one of my biggest thing was like I wanted to start like my podcast, right? But I was like, okay, what's the best camera to use?
Yeah.
What's the best microphone to use?
Exactly.
Like, what should I get, right? Or like all these different things, and I'm just like, my friends, they told me like, what, man, start with what you have. Everybody says that. Start with what you have.
The best.
Literally, just start.
Just start, exactly. That's what I say.
Yeah, best advice someone's ever given me, and the best advice I'll ever give to anyone. Just start, because you're gonna realize
you're gonna learn along the way.
Yeah, 100%. You're gonna learn along the way. Like for example, for you when you started your YouTube channel, right? Your editing was a lot worse than it is right now. Like even right now, I watch YouTube videos. I see like the performance of how better your editing is and stuff like that, right? It is something you learn, something I learned. I used to edit my TikToks, for example, on my phone. But you know what? I'm like, I want to take them more seriously. I'm going to edit them on my laptop, make them a little bit better. And then as I started to make them better, they started to get more views. They started to get more likes. They started to get more shares, more saves, all that stuff, right?
And I'll also add on to that. Another question I get is, how many calories should I eat? And, I know this is maybe like too specific or off topic, but I would also say to them, trial and error. So pick a certain number. If it doesn't work, drop more calories. And this will apply into my next point, which is the reason just start is the best advice is because you trying to progress with no feedback is like little to none. You cannot progress with no feedback. That's why you touched on the editing. I have to upload a bad video, a bad editing, to know it's bad. How do I know it's bad if I haven't done it? You know what I mean? So I have to upload a video, watch over it, get feedback. Okay, this editing I can do better. Make another video. That video, you have to work to get feedback. You have to trial to error. If you're not trial and error, you get more feedback. If you're not getting feedback, 100%. You can't progress. Like you just 100%. Can't progress without feedback.
Yeah, and like you said, you'll never be able to know if you're doing something wrong if you don't try. Exactly,
you have to try.
You have to try. That's number one thing. And like I delayed starting this thing. For example, what I'm doing right now is just starting to make those little TikTok videos, this podcast, my YouTube channel, whatever it is that I started. I want to do this 3 years ago. I always told myself I'm gonna start. Right. But one day I got fed up. I'm like, you know what? Today's the day. I called up my boy. I'm like, yo, let's do a podcast. I'm gonna start. He's like, okay. What time should I be at your house? He came to my house. We started. And then, as you can, like, if you go back and you watch the episodes, like you'll see that they increase in quality every single time. And even now, for example, if I never started, I would have never I met you through a friend of a friend, right?
Right.
And they connected me with you. I would have never have gone on and asked to do that if I didn't start in the beginning, right? And this is like a first step. I started with my first, this is my first online podcast, and it could be the beginning to many more to come, right?
And this is, this reminds me of one time a friend asked me, or not, this is my friend who asked me, but this can happen a lot, and I see it happen a lot. People on Instagram specifically, they'd be like, I don't want to start posting, gym specifically, people don't want to post progress. They don't want to make a fitness account because they're not big enough or their physique isn't big. But you have to realize the guys you're watching right now, they didn't just start their Instagram once they got big. Because first of all, big is subjective, and you need to grow along the way. And showing your progress from 0 to 100 is better than just somebody starting at 100.
100%.
You're showing the truth. You're showing your process, your progress.
Definitely. And another thing is when you do that, you start at 0 and you show people hey, you can do it too. I did it. There's no reason why you can't.
Exactly.
Right? That's the thing. You build more of an attached audience. Yeah, like a real connection with your audience. They'll support you. They're diehard fans because they've seen you as from the beginning. You were over here, now you're over here. But to get to over here, you put in so much work and you started and you just kept going and you kept showing. And no matter, because if you tell yourself, hey, I'm not going to start my Instagram page because I'm not big enough, you'll never start that Instagram page. Right?
Exactly.
You'll just keep telling yourself the same thing.
You have to start it and then get big, not get big and then start.
And exactly. Because when you get big, you're going to be like, oh, I'm not big enough yet. I'm going to keep having that excuse. And then you're going to get to a point where, your muscles are enormous and you're going to be like, yeah, I'm still not big enough.
Exactly.
Right? It's just a constant cycle of, a
wanting to get bigger.
You're going to play with yourself. Yeah.
Right.
You're going to realize, it's never going to end. You just have to literally start. And that's something I tell everyone.
Exactly.
And you'll only realize the benefits and how everything is going to work when you do it. That's how it is.
You need to get feedback in order to keep going.
Definitely. Well, anyways, bro, it was really nice conversating with you and learning from you. And I thank you a lot for accepting my invite to come on the show.
Thank you for bringing me on the show. It's very good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we will do another one soon or in the future.
Sure.
We'll talk about it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Just a reminder, we actually are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and many other podcast players. If you use a different podcast player that you don't see in the description, let us know. We'll add it. And all of Ayman's social medias will be linked in the description. So make sure you do check him out. Okay? Thank you and have a good rest of your day, guys.